Francesca, and I am here to talk to you guys about how to curate your Instagram feed. So this is a question that I got asked a lot on my Instagram. Frank Vinyl. People always ask me how I managed to kind of have the same look throughout my feed. It did not happen by accident. It is something that I have worked very hard on. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about how you can also take the steps that I took to figure out what your aesthetic is, what you actually like, and how to keep your feed looking mega curated. All right, guys, and here we go. First things first, figure out what it is that you really want to share with the world. What are you inspired by? What is your talent? What is something that's uniquely you? What is your story? Are you trying to show off flat lays, beautifully created flat lays? Are you trying to show off your outfits? Are you trying to show off your photography? Are you trying to share food? Whatever it be, make sure that you are very clear in your description, in your colors, in the photos. And if it's not always the same, make sure it's sprinkled throughout so it's pretty obvious. I can't talk. I think it's important that they understand immediately what you're about, what colors are going to be, what they can expect from you. Who is your audience and what are they getting from you? Because Instagram is all about sharing, and somebody's coming to your page because they are getting some kind of information from it, whether it be inspiration, information, or just lusting over your lifestyle. What do these people do for a living? How old are they? Do they like to shop a lot? Do they spend money? Know who your demographics are and know what kind of people you want following you. So every single photo that you take should be aimed towards them. Most likely, those people will be people that you would naturally get along with, so your interests would align. Every time you post, remember you are catering to those people and you are speaking to them through your photos. Post quality photos. If you're not taking amazing photos, your feed is not gonna look good. It's just not. So always make sure your photos are top notch. Even if it's an Instagram photo, just make sure the lighting is good, everything is exactly how you want it to be, and then the edit is great also. So the other thing that you need is awesome apps that help you curate your feed. So at the end of this video, I'll be talking a little bit more about that, about all the apps that I use to set the same filter and to curate the feed and make sure it all looks good before it actually goes live. I remember what I did is I sat down and I said, okay, Francesca, you need a freaking theme. So I finally said, okay, you got to figure out what it is that you like. And I realized that there was a couple Instagram feeds and photographers that I really gravitated towards. I actually picked my 5 top favorite people and said, okay, what is it that I like from each one of these people? I know I like this image, but what is it that I like? And then kind of compressed them all together and decided to take little bits of each of them that I really loved and make my own. So I actually tend to gravitate towards moodier, darks, playing with light kind of photos where there's a shadow and light contrasting each other and a little more highly edited. So I decided to do that in my own way, in my own capacity. So I made sure that all those things that I took from these 5 people that I loved really became a part of me and resonated with my brand and my story. I wear a lot of blue. I surround myself with blues. I love the ocean. I love the sky. I love nature. So I decided to keep it blues, and I decided to always have blue be part of either my backgrounds, my outfits, my editing. I would put it here and there. All my photos mostly have a little touch of blue in them. And then I realized, oh, you know what? I also really like photos that are in movement. So then I started to make sure all my photos had a little bit of movement, while there was me swishing my hair, me walking, me laughing, just something that was very organic. I really pushed it. I went hard with it. Once you decide what your theme is, just go for it. Don't be shy, go in hard, and never look back. Just kidding. I'm always evolving and I'm always switching things around, so don't be scared. You're not stuck. It's more a matter of making your reality and what you actually love work for your Instagram thing. So if you're gonna decide to make everything pink, but there's no pink in your house, you never wear pink, and you actually have a very hard time finding pink places, then it's just gonna make your life a living house. So I made sure to incorporate things that were natural to my life so that this theme would just kind of happen on its own. One of the things that I really like to do is create a mood board, and I don't mean you have to sit down, rip out magazine pages or anything. I simply took a screenshot of my Instagram feed when I loved how it was looking. Insert screenshot here. Boop. So that was my favorite. I loved the colors, I loved the layout, so I took a screenshot of that, kept it on my computer, and whenever I uploaded a new photo, I made sure it kind of went with that, and that way I was able to kind of keep the vibe that I was going for. You can also do it by maybe screenshotting somebody else's feed that you really liked, but remember, do not copy. Do not copy, because that person already exists, and then you're not going to stand out. You're just going to be a worse version of them. So if you do have them as your mood board, make sure it's an inspiration mood board, but you are always keeping in mind that it is different enough to stand out from theirs. The last thing I think that is super important is to make sure that your feed always makes you happy. If you end up posting a bunch of food photos and then you look at your food and you're like, oh god, I gotta post another food photo, maybe don't do that. Maybe switch it to something else. You can always evolve. Just do a steady evolve to something else, because in the end you might realize that you've been growing your feed the whole time off of a food Instagram and you don't even care about that anymore. What you really want to do is travel. So make sure whatever you're doing it for a reason, because you love it, because you want to share what you love with other people, and because it makes you happy. Most importantly, as always, I want to talk about the apps that help me to curate my Instagram feed. I don't know if it's called UNUM or UNAM. Check that out, download it if you don't have it already. Basically, you'll put in your Instagram information and then it'll show what your Instagram currently looks like, and it'll have empty blocks on top of it where you can just throw in your photos that are edited and ready to go. That way you can see if one photo looks good next to the other, if it's a good enough contrast. I tend to like to contrast one photo from the other. If they look to the same, I think it throws things off. But that is just my opinion. So the other thing I use is a VSCO cam. Now, I tend to edit all my photos on my computer the same exact way, tweaking the colors, the exposure, and the contrast depending on what the photo is. So it's not always the exact same preset, but it is kind of the same way, and I make sure that they always go well together. So even if it was shot completely differently, I make sure to edit it so it blends with the other one. And then I throw it into VSCO, which is an awesome app, but here's one thing a lot of people do that shows that you're an amateur. Just slap on a VSCO filter and put it all the way up. Don't do that. What I normally do is I bring it down almost all the way to the left so that it's only a little bit of the filter, just to give that cohesive overall look on my feed. So pick which filter you like, throw it on, make sure it is not super intense, but just a little bit to keep it all looking the same. And there you go. So I hope these tips helped you out. If you guys like this video, please like and subscribe. It'll help me out a lot, and then maybe I can continue to do videos like this for you guys. If you have something else that you want to know about or have any questions, please leave it in the comment below. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram. All right, love you guys. Thank you for checking out my video, and I am